You've been to the French Open final. Your breakthrough, at least standout result at the beginning of your career, was on grass against Venus. You've been very solid on the hard courts. Is there a slam in particular that you go, I think that's, if I'm going to get one, the first one might come here, there, or where?
Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone, I'm like, I think this is the first one, so I don't know. I mean, obviously now going to the French, I do have a lot of confidence on the surface, but I'm not really thinking about that. I feel like, in the past I was, and it gave me some, like, defeats that I feel like I shouldn't have lost, maybe more so my head. So going in now, I mean, I feel like, everyone could be the one, but I think I have to just take it a match at a time and just feel it out and enjoy it. I think when you focus too much on the destination, you don't enjoy the journey there. So now I want to focus more on the journey, and if the destination gets there, that's great.
Ready? Play.
I want one more thing from you, Francisca. Can you look at the camera, and I want you to say, I am Francisco Jorge, and I am a friend of the show. Can you try it?
I am Francisca Jorge, and I'm a friend. Wait.
Go. It's okay.
I'm Francisca Jorge, and I'm a fan of the show.
One more time. Can you say, I'm a friend of the show?
Friend.
Like amigo.
Friend.
A friend. So, because we joke, we have players come on all the time, they have no idea, but after they've been on, we say, oh, Yelena Ostapenko is a friend of the show. She has no idea. But so if we get you to say, I am Francisca Jorge, or how you say your name, and
I am Francisca Jorge, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect. Thanks, Francisca. Just want you to do me one more thing. I want you to hold the microphone. I want you to look in the... Don't be nervous. I mean, listen, you've just beaten Yelena Ostapenko.
I'm not nervous.
No, you shouldn't be. If you can beat Ostapenko twice in one day, you can do this for sure. I want you to look at the camera and just say, hi, my name is, say your name, and then say, and I'm a friend of the show.
Friend of the show?
Yeah?
Okay. Hi, my name is Susan, and I'm a friend of the show.
Say your whole name for me. That's the only thing I want.
Sorry.
Surname too. No, you're doing great.
You're
doing
cutting,
great.
huh?
Yeah, I'll cut it up. Don't worry. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Cool. Thank you very much, Susan.
You're welcome.
Good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
And I will tag you on Instagram, and you can reject. I do have one more tiny thing, which is I want you to look into the camera.
Yeah.
I want you to say your name.
Yes.
And I want you to say, I am a friend of the show.
I'm a friend of the show. Okay.
Perfect, yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
The mental
Ready.
side of tennis, from my perspective as the
Play.
fan, if you like, the two things that strike me in tennis compared to lots of other sports that I think make it a big mental challenge is, first of all, it's an individual sport. But secondly, so there's nowhere to hide. Like in football, in a team sport, you can just give the ball to another, teammate, and you cannot call for it if you like. But there's nowhere to hide. The other thing as well in tennis is again in something like football, you can be really nervous, but you can get a bit lucky. And of course, that can be the case in tennis. But basically, your body could be shaking when you're about to take a penalty. Okay, and you can still score because you can just put your foot through it, right? You just hit it as hard as you can. And actually, probably you will still score because of the odds on that.
Yeah.
But there's that in a sport such as darts, snooker, tennis, where you need to be pretty calm and you need to have a pretty steady hand. There's just nowhere to hide. Is there anything I'm missing, or am I underplaying something, or even overplaying?
No. I think you're 100% correct. I think the real tough thing about these sports and tennis in particular, because of how physical it is as well, is the relentlessness of point after point. And if you're nervous, you have to fight through those nerves sometimes for, an hour. and they might disappear for a while, but then suddenly, you're 5-all and it's tight again and you're feeling very tight and you have to manage it over and over again. And I think, the best players in the world just, use their tools and remember to use their tools in big moments. Because, once you get to pro level, it's not like any player doesn't kind of know what they have to do, but it's in the heat of that moment that they either don't remember because the brain is frying a little bit, or they don't have the courage to use them.
Yeah.
So, for us sitting there, I remember when Roger Federer had 2 match points against Novak at Wimbledon serving.
Yeah.
You're thinking serve and volley both.
Okay.
Yeah, probably Novak's not going to make a great return on both.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know whether what Roger was thinking, or maybe knew something more than I did, but that was my thinking. But he didn't, and they slipped through his hands. Now, to do that though in that moment takes a huge amount of courage.
Yeah.
And first to make the decision, and then secondly to follow through the decision like that. But then you've always got, and this is what's so tough for players. The other thing is, match point, make the person play. Don't serve and give them a quick volley or whatever. And that's another school of thought. But I think deep down, players get to a place where they have an instinct. And I think, I say this over and over again, the best players in the world are the most relaxed and the bravest. Because in those moments, when their instinct is telling them something, they are brave enough to follow it. And which is why, and again, it doesn't guarantee you're going to win, but I do think it starts to push the odds more in your favor. I'll just say one other thing is, I don't know if anybody's ever been go-karting or any kind of motor racing or watches motor racing, but when a driver gets in the groove, they lap like within 0.1 of a second every lap, like in this unbelievable groove. But if they lose that groove, when they're in that groove, it seems so easy. Just do it, right? No hassle. But if they lose that groove, if they go a little too fast, then they slide out of a corner, they lose time. If they go a little too slow, then that's not effective. And the margins are so small to stay on that groove. And for players as well, when you go into something like the French Open or any tournament, but especially the big ones, you hope that you can get through that first match and find a groove. And if you get in that groove, then that gives you your best chances of winning, because then most stuff is happening automatically, which is the most effective. Everybody has a problem when they start to think on the court, and automatic is fastest and easiest because you know how to do things. And it's not like you don't register. I say when you're playing very well, you are aware of everything, but nothing distracts you. When you start to think, your thoughts start to distract you. And that's very difficult to manage. And if you can learn how to manage that and get yourself back in the groove a little faster than other players, that's obviously, helps with ranking and why certain players, are more consistent than others, because they tend to manage that better. I hope that makes sense anyway.
It does. It definitely does. There are with the mental side of tennis, from my perspective as a fan, if you like, the two things that strike me in tennis compared to lots of other sports that I think make it a big mental challenge is, first of all, it's an individual sport, but secondly, so there's nowhere to hide. Like in football, in a team sport, you can just give the ball to another teammate and you cannot call for it, if you like, but there's nowhere to hide. The other thing as well in tennis is again, in something like football, you can be really nervous, but you can get a bit lucky. And of course, that can be the case in tennis. But basically, your body could be shaking when you're about to take a penalty, okay? And you can still score because you can just put your foot through it, right? You just hit it as hard as you can. And actually, probably you will still score because of the odds on that.
Yeah.
But there's that in a sport such as darts, snooker, tennis, where you need to be pretty calm and you need to have a pretty steady hand. There's just nowhere to hide. Is there anything I'm missing, or am I underplaying something, or even overplaying?
No. I think you're 100% correct. I think the real tough thing about these sports and tennis in particular, because of how physical it is as well, is the relentlessness of point after point. And if you're nervous, you have to fight through those nerves sometimes for an hour. And they might disappear for a while, but then suddenly, you're 5-all and it's tight again, and you're feeling very tight, and you have to manage it over and over again. And I think the best players in the world just use their tools and remember to use their tools in big moments. because once you get to pro level, it's not like any player doesn't kind of know what they have to do, but it's in the heat of that moment that they either don't remember because the brain is frying a little bit, or they don't have the courage to use them.
Yeah.
So, for us sitting there, I remember when Roger Federer had 2 match points against Novak at Wimbledon serving.
Yeah.
You're thinking serve and volley both.
Okay.
Yeah, probably Novak's not going to make a great return on both.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know whether what Roger was thinking, or maybe knew something more than I did, but that was my thinking. But he didn't, and they slipped through his hands. Now to do that though in that moment takes a huge amount of courage.
Yeah.
And first to make the decision, and then secondly to follow through the decision like that. But then you've always got, and this is what's so tough for players, the other thing is, match point, make the person play. Don't serve and give them a quick volley or whatever. And that's another school of thought. But I think deep down, players get to a place where they have an instinct. And I think, I say this over and over again, the best players in the world are the most relaxed and the bravest. Because in those moments, when their instinct is telling them something, they are brave enough to follow it. And which is why, and again, it doesn't guarantee you're going to win, but I do think it starts to push the odds more in your favor. I'll just say one other thing is,
yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever been go-karting or any kind of motor racing or watches motor racing,
Mm-hmm.
but when a driver gets in the groove, they lap like within 0.1 of a second every lap, like in this unbelievable groove.
Mm-hmm.
But if they lose that groove, when they're in that groove, it seems so easy. Just do it. It's like no hassle. But if they lose that groove, if they go a little too fast, then they slide out of a corner, they lose time. If they go a little too slow, then that's not effective. And the margins are so small to stay on that groove. And for players as well, when you go into something like the French Open or any
Ready? Play.
Hello.
Hello, Gauff. I guess we're here. We were supposed to be here a bit earlier, but well, Tommy Paul and Hubert Hurkacz said no, and I guess specifically Hurkacz, who was really trying to stay in that match and extend his life, extend his stay in the tournament, but well, he didn't manage to do it in the end.
Exactly. I was expecting the complete opposite of what that match was. Fast service games, I guess. Not a bunch of break exchanges. And definitely, I thought we would cover the totality of the Iga Coco match. But that's in danger.
Well, if it started at 3 p.m., if it started at 3 p.m., I would be bored with that. Like, I don't think this will be a particularly long affair. But, of course, as it's starting at 4:15, Gauff kind of hinted at this, but we will be going off the stream. 5 p.m., someone else will join it, and probably it's going to be John, but maybe someone else is going to come. And, what are your expectations out of this one? I mean, the head-to-head is pretty horrible for Coco Gauff. There was this one Cincinnati win, of course, but did it actually change the course of the rivalry. Also, a fun thing to think about is that they played for the first time in Rome in 2021, so we're kind of going full circle here.
Yeah, no, I think to the first question, right? It's Iga already had one win or two after that Cincinnati loss. And this is clay, so it's very tough for Coco. But I watched the highlights of that match you were talking about when they played in Rome for the first time.
Yeah.
I think it was the first match they played, right? So
yes.
There was no head-to-head baggage, and apparently that day it was Iga's second match. I don't know if it was the same for Coco, but it was the closest match they played on clay. So downhill after that for Coco.
Yeah, it was the closest match they played. Like outside of that loss in Cincinnati, it's the closest match they've played to this day, regardless of surface. And I do kind of tend to treat Swiatek's head-to-heads, as pre-2022 and 2022 and onwards. And okay. I think the fact that that match was so close in Rome doesn't really tell us all that much. But obviously, like even last year in the French, I actually kind of like how Coco played Iga in Paris. It's it still just gave her 6 games, but it was clear she had an idea for that match. She was really trying to break Iga's rhythm with all the added height on the shots and stuff. It was clear she was believing coming out there. But yeah, post Cincinnati, the last 2 matches, I just don't think they probably just showed us that, well, this rivalry will continue to be dominated by Swiatek. But well, if they play on a court that's unfavorable to her, if they play in some sort of a streak where Coco is firing, because of course she was in the North American hardcourt season, a win can happen. But is Rome gonna be that scenario? I mean, I think both cases, both Gauff firing isn't really happening at the moment, and Swiatek unfavorable conditions, no, absolutely not.
Exactly. Maybe Wimbledon could be that place, but definitely not Rome.
Maybe. I guess Coco did have a big moment at Wimbledon in the past. Actually, don't think she's gone deep since then, right? Like since she was 15, but
she lost the first round, which apparently made her win everything that came after last year after Wimbledon.
Yeah. But Wimbledon was the real turning point.
Yeah.
Or rather, the event right after. Since, well, at Wimbledon, nothing turned yet. What's your feel on the Coco Gauff season so far? And sort of how close is she right now to the players like Swiatek, Rybakina, Sabalenka? So let's say the 3 main dominators of the tour this year. Obviously, if she beats Swiatek today, she would kind of be very close to them, I suppose. But so far, we've only had her come up against Sabalenka once this year, and that's it.
Exactly. I feel like she's maybe significantly below that class of the 3 of them, because I mean, Iga. I mean, you can tell her weakness against some type of players, but she can hide. She can do things to hide them. But Coco has this second serve and particularly maybe forehand problem that she doesn't attack as well on the forehand side. I think that is separating her from the other 3. So a bit of an underwhelming start to the season, I guess. What are your thoughts?
I think the main problem is that she's not been even reaching these stages where you can play Swiatek, Rybakina, and Sabalenka, right? So if she can compete with them, she hasn't really had the chance to show it, because usually, other than the Australian Open, she's not going all that far. But I mean, she's still 4th, 5th in the race, depending on who wins a match between her and Daniel. So I think clearly she is still one of the best players in the world. Clearly still one of the most consistent match winners on the WTA circuit. But yeah, to me, it doesn't seem like if she's going to play Swiatek, Rybakina, Sabalenka a lot, that she's going to be winning against them or competing against them on a regular basis. But again, that's something we kind of are basing on, just subjective opinion. We haven't really had the chance to test that, so today is a pretty important match also in that sense. Maybe it's a tough important match because, well, you get Iga on the lower clay court, but, well, you have to do something with it. I'm not saying Coco Gauff has to win this match in order for me to maybe boost my opinion of her season, of her game this year a little, but she has to be like at least competitive in this one.
Yeah. Well, she saved a breakpoint now and won the first game, so that's a good sign because apparently in that first match they played here, she faced 4 breakpoints, saved 1, and double faulted on 2 of them. So that was dire. But this looks better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was also like a pretty massive point winner to go advantage up. Obviously, it's just like a +1 into the open court, but it doesn't have to be easy for her.
Yeah.
The serving, definitely, you mentioned the double faults. That's been a bit of a topic for her this week since, well, the first few matches, she was really struggling with it. But I think last night or 2 days ago, I guess, against Kilven Zheng, it was a little better. I didn't watch that much, but someone in the chat yesterday, I think it was Terry maybe, was praising that performance quite a lot. So, first game to the good. Let's see if she can keep going.
Yeah, I think her forehand looked better than like the past 3-6 months this week. So that's a good sign because she had been very tentative last year a lot of the time, even when she won the US Open. I think the forehand was trying to be covered by other things, the footwork, the defense, of course, that amazing backhand. But here it's been better.
I mean, she has more time to hit it, right? It is clay. That's always like that was always considered her best surface, really, when she was getting onto the tour. Well, not getting onto the tour, maybe, because back at the start she was doing well everywhere. But like when she was, let's say, already in the top 10, everyone was looking at the French as her best potential chance to win the slam, simply because she has, mostly because she has more time on the forehand and the grip. But, well, the problem is that the French Open has been very dominated by a certain Polish woman. And it's just tough to get that title there, It's just tough to break into that. Unless you beat her. I guess in 2021, I don't remember who Gauff lost to at the French, but like that was, of course, a chance. Otherwise, the last 2 editions in Paris chooses to Iga Swiatek. So.
Yeah.
But it does make sense.
Attacked Swiatek, like Iga's second serve, very well in the second point. I think that's another key because Iga also can that second serve can be exposed. So she's returning like she has a very from the very front, like inside the court. I think that's a good tactic because otherwise, like if you give Iga any time or if you leave her in her comfort zone at the baseline, you're doomed, I guess.
And again, it's a couple of like pretty massive forehands here.
Yeah.
Hitting through that shot with ease so far. If you think about it, like they kind of have very similar weaknesses and even strengths to some extent. You mentioned the second serve, which like for both is definitely attackable. You obviously have the forehand issues with absorbing pace, especially in faster conditions, quicker courts, slicker courts. Like that's the same too. It's just that I guess the potential on the offense of these 2 forehands is very different. But I mean, so far, the first few points, Gauff is actually combating it pretty well. So if that continues.
Yeah,
I think Dylan was yesterday on the chat as well, like really hopeful for a close match here and that this will be Iga's toughest test. Durlan kind of always says that Iga will lose, but I mean, we'll see. Today he might be right. Did she land that? I don't think so, right? Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, I was thinking about that smash.
Oh, yeah.
And that's 2 breakpoints for Coco. I think obviously that's another kind of like flow in Iga's game, but like when Coco is defending so well, it might be pretty tough to get past her if you don't have a net game really. Like, of course, she's getting there, she's improving in that department, but like, yeah, it can be hard to find that way to wrap up a point. And in this case, she did not find a way.
Yeah. So now I just watched the first point of the third game, just so you know where my sync is at.
Okay. Yeah. I took a different stream today because the usual one would be way ahead.
Okay.
But I see that this one is actually pretty like way behind as well. So yeah, there's never going to be a good middle ground. But we have 32 more minutes to get through, so we'll definitely make it somehow. As Coco, yeah, she broke with that lob. Kind of like, she didn't really invite Iga to the net, I guess. It was a pretty short shot because, well, she barely got to it, but it did give Iga a bit of trouble. And it is a strategy as well that players have been using against Swiatek to like maybe lure her forward a little bit. And
yeah, it's tough to do against Iga, I think, this thing, pulling her to the net with a short slice or anything that doesn't bounce and then that is short. But I think it's a very good tactic. But she won't let you do it that easily.
I can't remember what was the match, but there was this match very recently, I think maybe this year, where like initially she was struggling a little bit, and it seemed that every single time. Oh no, actually, I'm thinking about Vondroushova at the WTA finals. Like Marketa for the first 7 games, I think she was like 5-2 up and then lost 7-5, 6-1 or something like that. And like for the first 7 games, she was constantly luring her to the net and like just taking her out of comfort zone. As you said earlier, is like just best when she's like planted at the baseline and blasting the ball. And then from that point onwards, she actually was able to like find her way into that one, and she was still at the net quite a lot, but this time on her terms. Like just constantly going there, but actually, after following up a good shot rather than being lured there. Which again, here, like on this breakpoint, it maybe wasn't really by design from Coco. It was just a short shot. But yeah, I mean, that's something you can definitely use against her, at least for now, while she's still trying to perfect that net game.
Yeah, I thought of the Muchova match, the final. I think Muchova played similarly. She has all the weapons to do it.
Yeah, Muchova, one of the most varied playstyles on the tour, probably, and she was doing that a lot. Yes, I think there's actually a very key point that it backfired on in like the third set when Swiatek wins this crazy, like with this crazy reaction on the volley. But of course, you're not gonna win every point like this. But yeah, it's still something that Muchova made her uncomfortable with. Besides the nerves that I think were very well overwhelming in that final as well, from 6-2 3-love up or whatever it was, and eventually she was even down the decider.
Good serving from Coco in this game. I think 2 unreturned serves already, and another one that opened the court up for her.
Yeah, that one to the back. That one that opened her up for that backhand is like pretty much unreturned as well, because you're just gonna put it away anyway. So indeed, it's been Coco is like kind of in that Qin Wen Zheng mode with serving, right? That like the first serve is amazing, the second is borderline trash, but the first serve has a lot of power, and if she can land it more consistently, it is a huge weapon. Oh, well, I mean, again, we were at the net from Iga. Again, not really wanting to, but this time she managed to put away the drive. I'm trying to read back the chat as well. Yeah, someone sworn at picking Nurlan, who was kind of like, when will the universe create, what I said, correct itself and put Rybakina number one. And I just told him, when she wins a slam, that actually hands out points. But yeah, it's gonna be tough if she withdraws.
That was sad for her. All that for Tatiana Maria, Yulia Niemeyer, all these people who made the quarters, semis, won the event. That year was
that's
tough.
true. And even for the players who actually wait, because on breakpoint I think we're checking the mark now, and actually the third umpire says it's in. Iga has to agree, so it's not a break yet.
You changed your stream, did you?
Yeah, I changed my stream. How much faster is it?
Same, like perfect. Knock on wood.
Okay, great. Because I was actually thinking that you are so far ahead that this might actually be better, and it is. So that's great.
Okay.
But yeah, indeed, one more break point, and I guess because of that whole situation, Gauff had to get a first serve back. She didn't.
Yeah.
I will have one thing to say about that Wimbledon thing, but let's watch the break point now.
Uh-oh. Is Brad Gilbert gonna tweet about that?
Okay, so it's the double fault. Yeah, the retossing. I saw that. Yeah. Personally, I actually kind of agree. I think that I don't know. I just compare it to.
Would you say it as a coach of a player who suffered from it?
No, it was very weird to me that Brad Gilbert says it, because
it was weird.
His protege is someone who like struggles with her ball toss a lot. So it was weird for me to hear that. Yes, but I don't know. I just feel like I think of table tennis when you only get one chance, right? I mean, if you throw it up,
I didn't know that.
No. I mean, you can't catch the ball and serve again. Like if you throw the ball poorly, well, you might even lose the point instantly if you don't throw it, 16 centimeters, or like you throw it at a weird angle. There's actually a lot of rules about that. But like if you throw it poorly, you just have to make do, right? You just have to come up with something. And I actually like that part. Like sometimes there's some crazy serves that you need to do because obviously it's the throw is a little simpler. It's what I want to say. No, there's no weather factor, right? Which is why I think in tennis probably the rule exists, because you've got wind, you've got sun. So I think that's why it exists. It's not a big problem for me anyway, but I wouldn't mind seeing it go.
Yeah. Now third break point, she double faults. Hope it's not a trend like their first match here.
She avoided the double fault when the umpire checked the mark, and then eventually still double faulted.
I never get bothered by it, so but I'm surprised by how many ex-players are voicing that they want to change the rule about this. Usually it's fans and tennis Twitter are complaining about stuff, but it's specifically a lot of ex-players who want to say, if you toss the ball, that's it. You don't get to catch it again.
Ghosty, the thing is that Brad Gilbert basically tweeted that he would abolish the ability to retoss. Like if you toss, you gotta serve. And it's funny because it's Brad Gilbert, the coach of Coco Gauff, who retosses like a lot.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, I don't know, the coach of Sara Errani said it, for example, or something like that. Although actually Sara Errani probably wouldn't mind if we like abolish the first serve as a whole. Like if we just had one serve, right? Like that would be good for her. But she does sort of throw the ball over her head a lot as well. So I think she does catch it. And someone mentioned Djokovic in the chat, who definitely does it as well. Sometimes the players can abuse the shot clock with it. Yes. And with Wimbledon, I was gonna say that like Rybakina had insane draws to end 2022 because she didn't get the points. You mentioned Maria Niemeyer, especially Niemeyer, right? She was like barely inside the top 100 or even out for so long, despite making the Wimbledon quarters.
Exactly.
And even the players who were there in 2021 and had big runs, like Marton Fucsovics had such a crisis. He like stopped playing for 2 months because he had this 360 points from Wimbledon quarters in 2021, and then he can't defend it.
That's
so in the end, he actually managed to stay. He managed to finish in the top 100, but like had to play a couple of challengers to do it, and was pretty lost in that situation. And well, I mean, maybe it's a little much, but like I can't really blame him either. But yeah, that was a big mess. Thankfully, hopefully that's not going to happen anytime soon again.
Yeah.
Although technically, it still could. Like the situation has not changed since.
Exactly.
But yeah, Swiatek serving 1-2 now.
Yeah, another good cross-court forehand from Coco. I think that's it's more surprising to Iga that she misses that ball. It's not because she's slow or anything. Probably she's gonna adjust to that in a few games. That the forehand can come fast and with angles.
I mean, with the 15 seconds ghost, it would be very hard to get to the towel, but there's that new sort of rule that they're testing out with an ace, double fault, or an unreturned serve, where then it would be 15 seconds instead of 25, which I think is really good. After points where you definitely don't need to get to the towel, that sounds realistic to me, and that sounds good. And as someone said, I mean, there's no clock between first and second serve as well, which is well, it would be tough to implement it, but yeah, the players can abuse it for sure. Let's as well. Of course, in the juniors, they've gotten rid of Let's a while ago, but it doesn't seem like it's entering the tour at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really wonder about the start though. Like Gauff has started pretty well. Like, is it just going to be one of these matches where like we're waiting for Swiatek to find a range, and once she does, she'll be back to dominating, or is it actually, an invitation to a much closer affair?
And also, does Gauff keep the intensity that won her like these first few games, like returning inside the baseline? Will she keep doing that, or? Yeah, will Iga find some kick serves that will throw her out?
That was some incredible running from Gauff, but she couldn't really save that point. Are we, by the way, like here, are we watching the two best athletes ever in terms of women's tennis? Because of course, the technology and like the game has advanced so much physically that maybe we never really had that.
Ever is a scary word. But
it is a scary word, but like if you think about it, no one in the 70s, 80s moved like this because there was no need. The game wasn't just functioning like that.
You're right. Yeah.
So I think it's actually not that bold, like if you think about it. Although Mark Petchey did get quite a lot of, let's say, well, I'm really struggling to avoid using the word shit. I'm just going to use it. He did get quite a lot of shit last year when he tweeted something like that about Coco. And in terms of like not thinking about Iga as well, sure, I get that part of the abuse, but yeah, I don't think it was an outrageous claim because
on the women's side, the two of them, I agree. I think like the speed and also the way they move, like you can get to a ball and like maybe not slide into it or put it in the net. They're doing a lot of things effectively and fast and strong. So, and for like, I don't remember them cramping. Like they do it for 2-3 sets. So
to be honest, Iga always plays 2 sets only. But yeah, I mean, she did kind of outlast. Let's say it was pretty much a tie with her and Sabalenka in Madrid, right? And after 3 hours, she was still good to go. So
yeah. But
I think
accumulated. She doesn't have that much match time in her career. You're right.
But because of that, sometimes like you kind of wonder how she will react, right? When the match goes 3 hours. And actually she reacted perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So
now I'm trying to find if there is an answer that's, that not the two of them, but I mean, Navratilova always comes up in this athleticism discussion because probably she changed the game in that terms, in the physicality. But I don't know about speed. Probably they were talking about more strength that she brought into the game. But
who again?
Imagine Navratilova.
Navratilova, yeah. Maybe. I mean, Ghosty, regarding your question, it's very hard for me to answer that. Like, advanced physically, I don't think it's like good or bad. It's just, well, the sport has gotten more physical, so that's why it's, I guess, an advancement in the sort of sheer physicality traits that you need to have, the athleticism that you need to have to be at the top. And yeah, I mean, Coco over Iga, she definitely has a speed advantage, but then you get the sliding from her. Yeah, I would just, again, like put a tie between them in terms of being similarly impressive in these departments.
Another great forehand cross court, but this one, I think, was all Gauff. It wasn't that Iga missed it.
Well, so far we've definitely not entered that portion of the match yet, where Iga just finds her range and dominates. It's still very much nip and tuck. And actually, there was this. What was I gonna say? Shoot! I again forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind.
Yeah, let's see if Coco will close this out. I mean, 3-2 on serve is already, I think, would be reassuring against Iga for a player, right? You haven't fallen back in the scoreboard yet. Just keep going.
I know what I wanted to say. Yeah, that it's a big shame for Coco that she didn't claim that free lead, right? Because that would feel really significant at the moment. And
yes.
And yeah, from one angle, yeah, it would be cool to even like lead Iga briefly on clay. And right now she has that, it could have been much stronger. It could have been a more decisive lead, but yeah, probably best not to think about that, of course.
Yeah, I thought I forgot about it. I'm so much in the moment that I even forgot about it. But she had a break lead. Yeah. I've seen you tweet that the big challengers have a weather problem, right?
Yeah.
So
they actually started just now, I think.
Yeah,
in
Parma,
Turin, I think they started just now. Yeah.
Yeah, the ones in Parma still didn't start. I think they're close.
Parma?
Right? So, yeah, Rome is it shouldn't be that far away, so they're lucky.
Turin. It's in Turin.
No, yeah, I'm talking about the 125 of WTA.
The 125. I absolutely forgot about that. Yeah, because they're
canceled. Yeah, I had Niemeyer Sonmez on. It's still covered with something, the camera.
I saw the score of that match earlier, but I didn't even pay attention. It was Parma. I honestly forgot there was a second 125 this week, with Paris, of course. Palermo is in Sicily, Ghosty. That's what you're thinking about. Parma's in mainland Italy. But yeah, I mean, Turin has just started, but they are completing the first round today, hopefully. So, well, it's a mess already. And I think Bordeaux, basically, if Turin completes their first round and Bordeaux doesn't restart today, then they're going to be pretty much in the same spot. So, well, unfortunately, these 175s are definitely a little... these 125s, unfortunately, 175s, unfortunately, they are on like an even tighter schedule, right? So if anything happens, like already in trouble. I think earlier Aix-en-Provence, for example, had to play double duty, everyone on Friday, I think. So around 2 quarters. It's not a big deal, I guess, but like even one day can literally mean that you're already doing that. So
And there must be a few players who will go to qualifying.
Oh, of course.
in
Yeah.
Roland Garros.
And they're gonna play on Monday, yeah.
Yeah,
So
they
it's,
start Monday.
Oh, Terry, sorry. Yeah, I remember that you tagging me in that tweet now. Sorry, I don't think I responded to you. And basically I didn't respond because I know nothing. Like I just said, I don't know much. I started Googling and then I didn't find anything. And then I think I forgot to respond. But yeah, basically, I don't think you can count on me for info about that. But this is a thing that's been like on everyone's minds, and like it's been discussed for many years now that we could start an ATP 1000, start the year with an ATP 1000 in Saudi Arabia in January, move the Australian Open back 1 week. I don't hate it as much as some people do. I really don't know why it's that big a deal for people, because, well, the calendar will not be affected all that much. I mean, we've had, what was it, like Doha starting the year before, right? Of course, back then as a 250, but like it's possible for the players to play week 1 in that part of the world and then go to Australia for the 3rd and 4th week, for example. Well, for the 4th and 5th week. Or, actually for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th in most cases, probably. But yeah, I mean, I don't really think of it as a big deal if that happens. But when it comes to like new info about it, I'm definitely not the person to ask.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say because I've seen so many good puns on my name.
Yeah.
Cup of joke off. That's nice. I remember reading in The Athletic that Craig Tiley, of course, hates this idea of having a Masters in Saudi in January. So Tennis Australia sent a letter to the ATP saying that they don't want it. But I guess ATP and WTA, they have like a bid going on for a 1,000 event, but not just January, for the first 8 weeks, I guess, of the year. So it's still up for this grabs, I think, and they're aiming for 2027, I guess. Not.
I think I saw 2027 as well. Maybe that was even in the tweet that Terry tagged me in. Yeah. I think, well, of course they don't like the idea, but if they have to move the Australian Open by 1 week, it really won't be a big deal for them either, I think. So
yeah,
it's really not something that completely changes the tennis world as a whole. Like I remember someone, did she miss that? I guess she did. That's a couple of very close misses near Jason for Swiatek, but yeah, this really should have been per point and free all game,
close.
but not deuce. But yeah, I remember someone when the 2025 calendar from the ATP came out, like freaking out about it, and I'm like, man, nothing has changed. Like all these things we knew before. Like, of course, it's different that Hamburg is gonna be in May and stuff, but like these really aren't things that restructure the tour as a whole. Like if we had that, what do they call it, like premium tour or whatever, like the
Yeah.
Well, a whole rebranding and a basically the whole tour getting restructured. Like then, okay, I would be freaking out. But for the most part, adding an event here or there really isn't a big deal.
Yeah, Estoril was not there. That was the one thing to freak out about.
Yeah, exactly. We need to meet in Estoril next year.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? We still don't know. But today, actually, the WTA calendar came out, right? Or like something, some changes and information about that. Yeah. We have some more info on Canada and Cincy, which are going to be like a little shorter. Like they're putting in the 2 events in 3 weeks, more or less, rather than 4. So it's a different structure where Canada will actually end on like Thursday, something like that, and Cincinnati will apparently end on Monday. But yeah, that's probably going to be a bit messy, yes. But otherwise, I don't think there was anything crazy. I mean, the grass season is also undergoing some changes, but it's just like locations switching. And of course, there's going to be that 500 in Queens for the women's as well.
Eastbourne to Queens, it says.
Yeah, the 500 in Queens a week before the men's event, yes. So.
Okay, I didn't realize Bad Homburg it became 500. Or is it maybe as of next year? Because it says WTA 500 in Bad Homburg.
I guess it's as of next year, because for now it's probably Berlin, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sworn says that overall Canada and Cincy over in 3 weeks is a good idea. Sure. I mean, why won't they stay 1 week though? It's kind of my question, because in a 3-week format, it's still gonna be a bit cramped. Like, you're actually gonna have to play, a day. Well, you're gonna have to play 2 days in a row a lot and stuff. So like, why are we even extending that? I'm not really sure. But well, yeah, sure. It sounds a bit more exciting maybe than that 4-week format, but we'll see. Is this Swiatek making her move? I guess in the previous Gauff service game, she was also 30 love up, right? So
yeah.
Back then, it was not enough.
Yeah, she needs some good first serves now. Not get into rallies.
Swarna says that Madrid and Rome should also try to get it done in 3 weeks. Yeah, we're just going to have all these doubles, basically. We had one sunshine double, now we have the dirty double, as we called it on this stream a couple of days ago. And maybe you have
dirty?
Maybe you have some other monikers for that.
What did you call it? Madrid Rome?
Dirty double, because dirt, clay. But I mean, it's not a final name. Like, someone can definitely come up with something better. And also Canada Cincy, we're gonna have to call it somehow. And I think especially now if Iga wins both, right, we're gonna have to like actually get a name, coin something for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might suggest the dirty double on Twitter. I don't think it's that good, but well, maybe someone else will beat it. And also Canada Cincy, you can just call it the North American double, which I guess makes sense.
Boring.
Yeah, technically Indian Wells and Miami is also North American, so like it wouldn't be maybe that double. Definitive. Like, yeah,
doesn't make sense.
Maybe, well, Toronto, Montreal, Cincinnati. It's tough to find something. I mean, they are pretty close geographically, but it's not enough to like call it the Great Lakes. Like, they're not close to Great Lakes. You know, they're not close enough so that we could call it the Great Lakes double or whatever. But yeah, second breakpoint for Iga Swiatek anyway now. Second serve as well. So she's likely going to attack it. And let's
she
see
should
where
have
that takes.
Gotten to at least 30-all with that first serve, but she missed that backhand.
Yeah, and she doesn't land that second serve. Return. Second serve return. Important to note that. I did not mean the second serve from Gauff, which was very much inside the court, inside the lines. Five minutes until our deadline, but don't worry, guys. Prairie double. Interesting. We'll think about it. I don't know if Cincinnati really counts as the Prairie, though. And again, Toronto, Montreal. Like, I get it, but I think these cities are like just way too urbanized.
Yeah, Coco's just switching up the position she serves. And to the forehand, backhand, body, and now out wide. Good variation in the spots she serves.
Yeah, and she's surviving. I mean, she's once again 4-3. This time she got to save break points compared to the previous game, but like, yeah, she's still up, and still it's not clear. Given that we only have a few minutes, later on there's going to be the second semifinal as well between Daniel Collins and Aryna Sabalenka. Of course, that's a match that happened in Madrid already. Daniel was up, Sabalenka came back, as she tends to do recently. Any feeling about that one? Any opinions?
I think Collins gets it this time. It feels like she's like so free with that, decision in outside of her head, and she now faced Sabalenka so recently. With those recent matchups and her kind of personality, I think she goes for the revenge. What do you think?
Well, I'm not going to be as decisive. It's pretty interesting that their head-to-head is 5-0 Sabalenka, but there's been some tight matches there. Obviously, the most recent one being a great example. I think Daniel generally tends to do well against other big hitters as well, but I don't know. I guess I'm just on the fence. I really have no idea.
All of Team Coco is up, standing. They want the break here. Can she do something in 2 minutes?
Maybe. I don't know how strict your deadline is. Like, I could definitely, like, even if this game goes 3-4 minutes, I can definitely watch this at least.
Yeah, I can finish.
I'm even thinking about the set, but well, that's only because I'm not really sure how long it will take me to pack my stuff up. But I don't know. I guess if it's not a very quick game, I probably won't stay until the end of the set. So my deadline is very strict. So I think if she breaks, I'm probably gonna see it still on the stream. Yeah.
Okay. This is my last game, unfortunately. If it's like
13
the last game of
winners.
Catch Poll, it's gonna be fun.
Okay. Fornes Coco hasn't won a set against Iga Clay so far. Yes. And in fact, the only time that she won a set against Iga was that Cincinnati match. In all the wins for Iga, it's been 18-0 for her in terms of the set breakdown, whereas in Cincinnati, of course, Coco won in 3. As that was part of that insane North American hardcourt season she produced there.
Yeah. That's a mystery to me somehow. She did amazing.
Pretty awesome point, but eventually Iga goes for a bit too much on that down the line. Nice match so far for the believers in the Gauff rivalry, because back a couple of years ago, everyone was thinking this was going to be sort of the rivalry that will not dominate, but it will just be the most important one in women's tennis for years, but it just hasn't been much of a rivalry. But today,
no breadsticks, no bakery goods.
She's getting pushed back and still responding with some great shots here. That forehand cross court just now, probably in line, I'd assume. You talked about this earlier, I suppose. That from all these defensive positions she gets to with her row spin, she's also coming up with great shots. And
Yeah.
That definitely was one of them. Suddenly we have this pretty high pressure moment for Swiatek. Grabs that important point though. We have a wild John Silk appearing on our screens in the background.
I recognize that ceiling. The
What
wooden
do
ceiling.
you recognize? The ceiling. The Centenario, or whatever the call is called, in Oeiras Jamor, actually. I also recognize the hat from Estoril, which he's been sporting all the time. I think there's a rumor that he hasn't actually taken it off since being in Estoril. And every time I've seen him, he's had it on. So I was sporting it the whole week in Mauthausen last week, so I'm in great time.
Give me 30 seconds.
Of course we will.
Nice straight backhand.
Yeah. She's impressive today, I have to say. It's not a beatdown, it's not a demolition. And in fact, who knows, maybe in just a couple of points she could be serving for the set. Again, it's the second serve on that key point for Swiatek, so the opportunity only becomes clearer for Gauff.
She made an unforced error last time, right? At 30-0. Let's see what she'll do this time.
I would say it was a little forced, but yeah.
The backhand into the net? You think it was forced? Yeah,
I think so. But here she misses a backhand return. Was pretty close. I mean, was really close to making it. And Iga gets the game eventually. After that net court, she reacts well. She's at 4 games all. And, well, Coco Gauff is fighting, but she wasn't actually able to create a break point here. So we're still at status quo.
Hi guys, can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can. There's a beautiful talking tennis microphone there.
I've got the number one.
Didn't care about it, but
I've got the number one double seeds to my left. They're waiting to go on centre court here in Werash.
I don't even know
about. Well, I'm talking about them. They're looking at me right now, wondering who the hell am I and what am I doing.
Now I can't leave. The suspense.
I'm gonna tell them I'm commentating on Coco Gauff against Iga Swiatek, but one day I hope to be commentating on your match. One day, when I rise above the Coco and Iga levels, I'll be commentating on your doubles match. Sorry, Gokap, what do you say?
I said I can't leave because there's so much suspense with the number one seeds next to you. I want to see who they are.
There's an important question there. Yeah, who's the number one seed actually? I don't remember.
Well, listen, Elias Yamur told me a little while ago, I know my tennis. He said it to me, like, you know your tennis. Because I was talking to him about the lob and the tactic, some of his tactics against Hoinski earlier on today. And yeah, he was very complimentary about me. He didn't mention Damien. He didn't mention Gokap. Didn't mention anyone.
He didn't say Damien is retarded or something. I had a pretty unpleasant experience with him, actually. So
really? Well, yeah, Elias Yamur is... he's certainly a character, let's say that. But he was in good spirits today, obviously having won.
I mean, it was very unpleasant. You know, it was just like it was clear he didn't really want to talk that much. You know.
Yeah.
He wasn't like angry. He wasn't or anything. You know, he wasn't. No, he just didn't really want to talk, I think. But yeah. Also, you guys will be delighted to hear, I'm talking to the guys in the chat, that John finally sent me that footage from Oeiras. I was able to scan through it a little bit, and it doesn't look that bad. I'm fine with it. This is our level, sure. I think it was pretty fine. There's a few decent points there. I will have a lot of fun watching it with my dad. It's his birthday tomorrow, actually. We're probably gonna drink something, and I'm assuming that we're gonna watch it then as well, just to have a laugh.
Can we do a watch along to that as well?
One day, yeah. All the drinking,
I've done things like that before. Like, I remember recording a video for my friends while me and my dad were walking to the shop just before it closes in order to refill. But well, I'm not proud of these moments. Let's just say that.
So Coco pushing Iga. What's going on?
Yeah.
I enjoyed their first set at Roland Garros last year. I enjoyed seeing Coco play a bit more aggressively in that quarterfinal, I think it was. But I don't know what she's been bringing today because I've just tuned in, basically.
I mentioned that much, actually. That it was like kind of went it went on the radar, but like it was actually a very good performance from Gauff, I thought. I know
I
she
agree.
won 6 games, but she clearly had a plan. She was really throwing Iga off with like a lot of these higher shots, and like, yeah, it was clear she believed, that she could win.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously that's not really a question today either. Like, she definitely does. And she is going after it quite a lot. She is causing Iga issues with the defense, of course. Yeah, it's been a great performance so far. I mean, she just had a 40-love lead, and she's very close to getting that 5-4 game done. But I think right now it's 40-30, so better be careful.
Yeah. Oh, good. Just some breaking talking tennis news. Jerome has been accepted for Surbiton. So if you're going to Surbiton, Damien, you will probably meet Jerome.
I probably won't.
Oh, okay. Okay. By the way, for those of you wondering who are the number 1 seeds, I'm going to mispronounce their names with them sat to my left. It is Anirunda Chandrasaka. I'm mispronouncing his name so badly, he doesn't even recognize I'm trying to say his name. Chandrasaka. How close am I?
Chandrasekhar, yeah.
Chandrasekhar, okay. And yours is a little easier. Arjun Kadya. Oh, sorry, Arjun Kadya. Okay. Yeah.
That's not a very strong field.
Dmitry Popko. I saw him play singles a couple of days ago. Yeah. Are you going to win? They say they hope so. Which is a very, very smart thing to say. Because if you do an Elias Yamur and you say, yes, I'm going to win, and then you don't win, you look sort of silly, don't you? Talking tennis, by the way.
By the way.
That's the name of the YouTube channel I'm talking on right now. Sorry, Damien, what were you going to say?
No, there's a break point. I mean, from 40 love, we have arrived at the break point, but I think you guys are going to lose it. Also, the reason why I'm probably not going to Surbiton is actually quite surprising, I would say.
Is it like not visa? It's not like that, is it? Or you haven't got a passport?
No. I got the passport. But you said Jerome was accepted and I was not.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah. There's an email that you can write to, but I already did that 9 days ago. Honestly, like with the email that I wrote, it would be very weird for them not to change their minds. But, well, I don't know. At this stage, I'm not really like counting on it,
I mean, I would have obviously applied for you, but I knew you were going to apply as an independent, so I thought I'd let that go.
I'm not also willing to like go behind their back or anything. That doesn't interest me. I probably could, but I don't really like. I don't want to show up there and they'll be looking at you like you did something to them and just look for the first excuse to throw you out or something, right? Like that's not
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that either. So I don't know. I wrote that email. I haven't gotten an answer. But if not, I might go to Prosteov, or I might just skip the week. Honestly, it's not that
Where's
like the
where's
field isn't that exciting in Prosteov.
where's Prosteov? Where's Prosteov?
Czechia, I could drive there, which is the best thing about it, really. And also the finals on Saturday, like it would actually be pretty good for me. But I'm not too excited about the field. I'll wait though. I'll wait until I basically have to commit to it, and then I'll sort of like figure out whether I actually want to go. And Surbiton, I mean, I don't know if they write.
I'm just watching. Sorry, Damien. I'm just watching this break point because I know what happens. I've seen on the screen, but I'm a point behind you guys, and I'm looking at a second serve from Coco. Is she going to double? 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 Yes, she does. I had a feeling that was coming.
And do you
Sorry.
know what happened at Deuce? Do you know what happened at Deuce?
No, I don't know what happened to Juice. Sorry.
You can guess it.
It's not a very good watch along so far, is it? I've been talking to the doubles guys here, trying to pronounce their names, and we've been talking about Surbiton Challenger. Meanwhile, Iga's going to serve for them at that set.
Guess it. You can guess it probably.
Yeah.
She doubled as well.
Yeah. She did 2 double faults, did she?
Yeah,
I saw the one on. Oh, I see. I was talking about the second one on the break point.
Yeah. And the first time she got broken today, also on a double fault.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I saw her just whack her shoe.
A sad moment for me to hop off the stream.
Yes.
I wouldn't have wanted to go after a double fault. But
Yeah.
thank you guys. It was fun until like 40 love.
Yeah,
I'm gonna run too. Ghosty, I don't think they know which nationality I am. That wasn't really in the questionnaire. Anyway, I gotta run as well. John, have fun watching this. Hopefully you also get to see some of the doubles between Chandrasekhar Kadhe and Popko Evseev, and see you soon.
If Iga gets this done quickly, then I'll certainly watch some of the doubles for sure.
Thank you,
take care, guys. Cheers,
and
Coco.
thank you,
Cheers,
Ghosty, for all the puns. I'm gonna keep all of them. Bye.
Bye. So back to the Italian capital, where I can see an Iga flag as she will now serve for the first set. I'd love for you guys in the chat to let me know what you've been making of this match so far. Damien is still here for some reason.
Yeah, but because I'm thinking why Ghosty said, of course they know. I mean, my name doesn't really tell you anything about my nationality. And if they Googled me, then they wouldn't have rejected me. So I'm sorry if that sounds like bragging, but
but it's true. It's just
it is.
I hope I'm not gonna talk talking tennis out of an accreditation, but they don't do their homework, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's why I actually wrote the email, and I was like very I was like kind of boasting there.
But you have to. You have to.
The biggest non-ATP account on Twitter that does Challenger Tour, and I also said, I'm in Mauthausen this week.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and how much I've traveled around the Challenger circuit for the last couple of years. It's just a shame because it's the only one I can go to this year, but it's getting scratched off the calendar next year, so they can go. Yeah, but it's going to be like Birmingham instead of it. Maybe Birmingham will be more accepting. Anyway, of course, I'm still waiting for the reply. Maybe they will. Who knows? It sounds funny, but like I'm pretty sure that's actually the case. Like I'm pretty sure they don't do their research whatsoever.
No, they don't.
Anyway, gonna leave you with Iga Swiatek now, as she has 3 set points, and well, maybe this match is just gonna turn thanks to the Gauff double faults. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. So, as Damien suggested, 3 set points here for Iga, who has seized control, or perhaps it's more a case of, see you guys, good luck, yeah? As really Coco's like let go of control, if you think about it, from 40 love up on her serve in that previous game, and then back-to-back double faults at deuce, meaning Iga seized control and has actually taken the first set. So please do let me know in the live chat what you make of it, and tell me what's been going on, because I missed the first 8 games. And it does feel like the momentum towards Iga. Of course, I did notice that Coco was up a break at 2-love, but she wasn't then able to consolidate that break, which is obviously a crucial moment in this match as well. And one thing I have thought about, I'm going to go off at a slight tangent here, so do excuse me, is I wonder not so much about Iga, but a bit more about Arena, primarily because of the stressful matches that Arena has been through. When I was seeing her play, I think it was Svitolina a couple of days ago, and I think Svitolina that she had like 2 or 3 match points, and I was thinking, you know what, for Arena, it might not be such a bad thing if, as I see Elias Yamur in the distance putting the wrapping on the racket. Is the wrapping the strapping on the handle? Do check out our press conference with Elias earlier, where Elias was very complimentary about talking tennis and our awareness of the game that we all love. Nerlan, are you referring to yourself or are you referring to me? Oh, Ghosty. Oh, yes. So just quickly, I want to finish my Arena Sabalenka thought, and then Ghosty, we can talk about penalties. But my Sabalenka thought is this. I'm a bit worried about Arena, not in terms of the tennis that she's playing, but I'm just worried in terms of her energy levels when it comes to Roland Garros. Think about Madrid. Think about her getting to the final and think of the amount of tennis that she played there. Same here in Rome. You know, I was thinking to myself, she goes out to Svitolina a couple of days ago. I was thinking, blessing in disguise. That's, I don't need to explain myself any more about that. But yeah, do let me know your thoughts on Sabalenka in the live chat. And yeah, I'm not so worried about Iga because I think partly because of her playing style, but even more the amount of time spent on court has been significantly less during this clay court season compared to Arena. So it'll be, I think Arena might be a bit more vulnerable, funny enough, in Roland Garros. Let's see. If I was able to speak to her, Arena, I'd certainly ask her how the body is feeling given all the tennis that she's played in recent weeks. So, Ghosty, just in terms of coming off the bench to take a penalty, it's something that's been happening in football for years. I remember United bringing on 3 substitutes in the 2008 Champions League final. Did I mention I wrote a book, by the way, Even the Defeats, on how Sir Alex Ferguson turned losses into wins? Do check that out on Amazon or wherever you get your books from. In 2008, Ferguson brought 3 players off the bench. And I think at the back of his mind, maybe even at the forefront of his mind with some of those players, was taking penalties. All 3 took a penalty in the shootout, and all 3 scored. I think Anderson was one example who actually did just come on for the last minute. So that's purely to take a penalty. Nani, I think, came on super late as well. Giggs, who also took a penalty, but he came on, I think, for footballing reasons, if that makes sense, during the match itself. But I understand the rationale for doing that. Yes, it's tricky. And by the way, Nicholas Anelka actually missed a penalty in that shootout and blamed the fact that he hadn't kind of got into the match because he came on so late. I see both rationales, but you know, Rashford will have known before that match, by the way, if it goes to penalties, I want you to be ready. You know, and I may, you know, as a coach, I may well bring you on. If Marcus then says, listen, I don't think it's a good idea because I'm a player who needs, you know, reps, if you like, then maybe Marcus needs to say that. And so that's my thought. And it's a really common thing. You want your best players to take a penalty on the pitch at full time. It might be a reason, it might be an excuse, but I think also as a professional, that's kind of part of it. You know, I mean, in American football, Ghosted, don't you have players who specifically just come on to take a whatever you call that kick in American football that's akin to a penalty? Back to the tennis, by the way. Gauff is love 30 down on her serve, so this will be a real momentum swing if Iga ends up winning 3 or 4 games in a row to then really wrestle control of the match, being a set and a break up. There's a lovely return of serve, by the way, that did set her up for love 30. I mean, it's one example, Ghosty. By the way, Ghosty, if it's the right idea or the wrong idea, I think that's a kind of another debate. I understand the reasoning. You want, as I say, your best penalty takers on the pitch at full time if you possibly can. I just feel as though it's an excuse. And in American football, we also have the concept of icing the kicker. I'm not sure what that means, but is that like prepping them? But yeah, I get the rationale. You want I guess what my point is this: do you want to have a guy who's not very good at taking penalties, but has played 120 minutes? By the way, he could cite fatigue, or do you want someone who's just come off the bench and maybe is not battle hardened, if you like? But it is just one kick. You're not asking them to sprint 100 meters. Or I personally, but it would be good to see if there's evidence for this, Ghost, as you say. I think it would be quite easy to research, by the way, just get 100 examples of someone who came off the bench to, by the way, how did Iga not win that 30-all point is beyond me, hitting that long. Was Jack on the pitch at the time, Ghosty? That would be my first question. But the second thing is, if Jack doesn't feel confident, so basically what'll be happening is there's 23 players in the squad, for example, though I think during COVID it might have been a bit more, and you will have a 1 to 23, if you like, roll of honor. And if Jack is not putting his hand up to take a penalty, that says enough for me to not choose Jack to be amongst the 5. Yeah, maybe, Sean, maybe, but if you also, there's a risk of putting them on for 5 or 10 minutes and you mess up your tactics. I mean, I remember that particular match. I think Rashford came on for a fullback and basically played right back for the last 2 minutes. And you're thinking, oh my God, if Italy just attacked down that side, we've basically got a right winger stroke striker at right back here. So yeah. Anyway, talking football, maybe for a different podcast. Coco Gauff has held for One Love. As I look at some set one stats, 4 double faults from Coco, 0 from Iga. Perhaps that is the difference. I mean, I think both of the times that Coco got broken, she double faulted, none more so than the back-to-back double faults at deuce. First serves in just over 50% for both players, and both pretty much on 70% for first serve points won. Second serve points won, though, is a huge difference here, with Iga winning 50% of her second serves and Coco winning just 33% of her second serve points. Doubles? Playing later? Oh, you're playing the number 1 seeds? Oh, the Portuguese guys. Oh, okay. Are the number 1 seeds now? So when are you playing? In a couple of hours, or? Okay. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, just talking to some of the doubles players that'll be getting underway shortly here in Werash. Yeah. So Iga here is 30-15 on her serve. Again, Ghosty, these are discussions that I'm not privy to. But if Sterling says, I don't want to take a penalty, well, you're not going to force a guy to take a penalty. I mean, that's just yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that he said that, but he might not have put his hand up. Plus, the other thing, Ghosty, is, by the way, this is not me defending Gareth Southgate as a coach. I think there's lots of question marks about him, but I just don't point at that penalty shootout as being that pivotal in terms of his managerial abilities. They will have taken thousands of penalties in practice, and they will have said that, okay, these are our 5 best, and okay, you have to look at mental side of things and how comfortable you feel, but it's not much else you can do, right? If a guy, let's say Sterling took 100 penalties in practice and missed half of them, and Rashford took 100 and scored 90, and Rashford said, I want to take a penalty, you're going to go for Marcus, right? Plus, I know Marcus takes penalties. Plus, I know he's taken some big pressure ones, including away to Paris Saint-Germain, in a last-minute penalty kick to basically, if he misses, United go out of the Champions League. If he scores, United go through. Probably one of the most pressurized penalties you'll ever see. And he scores. So, yeah. There was one other thing I wanted to say about penalties. Oh, a great example, by the way, as well, if someone coming off the bench to take a penalty at the end was, and also answering some of the questions that I'm raising, was Jamie Carragher in 2006. And Carragher came off the bench, and the reason he was specifically chosen is that he said that in practice he took like whatever 100 penalties, and I think he scored them all, or certainly had an incredibly good strike rate. So, you know, Sven was like, I would like you to take a penalty in the shootout. And Jamie was like, fine. Jamie Carragher took a penalty, by the way, scored, but because he didn't wait for the referee's whistle, he had to retake it, and he missed. Yeah, Sean, I remember Louis van Gaal doing that famously. By the way, we might well be hemorrhaging viewers here as we dip into a football talk, so I'm going to get back to the tennis. But yeah, make sure you hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel if you are new. One game all here, by the way. I really want to watch that documentary, Ghosty. I really do. So Gauff to serve here at 1-1. My stream is a little bit behind the scoreboard. I love the chat, by the way, about the dirty double earlier. I thought that was great. So I have 15 love on my screen, although I can see 30 love elsewhere. Yeah, right. I mean, soccer. I mean, sports culture. It's so full of identity, Ghosty. Soccer, especially, and that level of identity just doesn't exist in American football, which is why you can just up sticks and go to another city. I mean, that would cause a riot in the UK if one club just. In fact, it basically did happen with Wimbledon, as in Wimbledon Football Club, rather than the tennis. When Wimbledon just basically said we're moving to Milton Keynes because we think it's going to be more profitable, and they basically just deleted a club, and then a new club began called FC Wimbledon, I think. And they don't even recognize Milton Keynes, MK Dons, as they're called. As we see a picture of, or an image of Coco Gauff's mum in the crowd. I think she's wearing a Mouratoglou hat. So a little bit of a pressure here being applied to Coco's serve as we get to 30 all. I'm just watching this 30-15 point to get to 30 all. Really good depth there from Iga. Really good depth, and Coco errs. I'm just watching the 30 all point here, people. Lengthy rally. Iga errs, and Coco holds. Dmitry Popko. So I've got Dmitry Popko to my left. Dmitry. You're not Dmitry? This is, I'm looking at court. You're on court 1 or center court? Center, sorry. Duda. Kopriva. Woo! My YouTube channel is called Talking Tennis. Talking Tennis. It's a YouTube channel, podcast, website. But we're talking about Coco Gauff against Iga Swiatek at the moment. I would love to commentate on your match, but Coco Iga. Yeah. No, fine. I mean, doubles. Where are you ranked, by the way, singles and doubles? Where are you ranked, singles and doubles? What are your rankings? 380 in doubles? Okay. And in singles? 125? Really? You're not going to tell me your singles ranking? Okay, you don't have to. We will not apply any pressure. Yeah, fair enough. Is that your career high, 125, or is that 111? That 100 elusive. We've interviewed Liam Brody a few times, and he broke into the top 100 last year. Liam Brody, English guy. Yeah, I'm seeing it now. 111. By the way, the ATP website says you are 1.78 meters. Is that right? You look, yeah, 179. I thought you were taller. Yeah. Yeah, but still. Do they not ask the players? Do they not ask the players this information? Okay. Maybe you grew some 1 centimeter since then. Maybe you grew. Anyway, from Bilovic in Czechia. Bilovic. I've never heard of Bilovic. Is it amazing? Should I go there? No. Okay. Sounds like my hometown. Are you in qualies next week for the French? Okay, I'll keep an eye out. Pleasure. Okay, Swiatek here is 30 love up on serve, with Coco returning wide to make it 40 love. Sinner is dating Kalinskaya? Are you kidding, Terry? She wasn't interested when he was not winning Grand Slams and ranked so highly. That's it's curious. Iga holds, by the way, for 2-all. By the way, for those of you tuning in, do keep an eye out for the qualifiers next week in Roland Garros, which will be starring Vit Kopriva, among others. Elias Yamur as well, I believe, will also be in qualifying action. And do check out our interview with Elias from earlier on today. So Coco serving here at 2-all. I'll come to the live chat at the end of this game. Is that a winner? It is. Wow. What a cross-court winner that was from Iga. Are you going to play Surbiton by any chance? Surbiton, no. Just that we're going to Surbiton as well.
I don't think I'm going to grass.
You're not going to play grass at all?
Yeah.
Oh, just Wimbledon, yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Is there a clay court challenger in the second week of the French Open? Because there used to be one where I live in Germany, and there used to be one in Troisdorf near Bonn in the second week of the French, but it's not on the calendar this year.
I mean, second week it's Prostějov,
Where Rostov? Rostov, in Czechia. Yeah. And one of my colleagues might go there. His name is Damien Kust. He does a lot of challenge. Damien Kust. He does a lot of challenges. You might see him there. Okay, 30 love here or love 30, I should say. Sorry, on the Coco serve. 1 hour 80 minutes on the clock. Coco goes into the backhand of Iga, and Iga goes long. So it was a good choice there for Coco. It was actually kind of towards the body, actually. At the end of this game, we will have a quick look at Vit Kopriva's ATP page. I would say his picture is not so accurate. Ooh, what's going on here? 30 all. Big point that was for Coco. Big point. Swing volley on the backhand side. Not easy. She puts it away. 30 all. Coco here serving. Forehand return from Iga's good. But she's not in charge of the rally just yet because Coco dealt with that well. Now it's Coco on the forehand. Expecting a few more forehands coming her way where possible. Coco cross court now. Now to the Iga backhand, which is clever from Coco because it gives her a chance to hit a few backhands of her own. Although there's a net cord there going the way of Iga and it helps her win the point. And she's going to have a break point here at 30-40. She wins this next point and she'll have 1 foot in the Rome final. I think she didn't make the final last year, did she? Because she lost out to Rybakina in the semis. Albeit I think she was hurt during that semi-final. I think, by the way, not only is the head-to-head 9-1. Oh, has she gone wide with that backhand? She has. And Iga gets the break for 3-2. Iga gets the break for 3-2. So, I said I would share Vit Kopriva's ATP webpage, if you like. And, yeah, here it is. Currently ranked 127, career high of 111. Trying, obviously, to make the French Open main draw next week. So he'll be in qualies there, and he's playing a doubles match shortly here in Werash, and I'll probably be watching that at the conclusion of Coco against Iga. So, yeah. I'll come to the live chat in a second. Just going to check my WhatsApps because there's a couple of things to do. Sorry about this, guys. Just texting Jerome, who's been given a Surbiton. I nearly said Surbiton wildcard there. Jerome getting a Surbiton wildcard would be pretty legendary. But no, just accreditation. So, just a couple of bits to do, and then I'll come to the live chat. Just give me a second. Good luck, Vit.
Thank you.
Today and next week, of course. Just one more second. Sorry, guys. Doing so many things at once here.
Não precisa. Não precisa. Não precisa. Só uma série de linhas. Ou seja, você consegue, mas não é fazer o que eu faço. Vou almoçar um sushi, depois vou jantar ali, agora vou comprar um peixe aqui. Ele faz agora. Só fez. Só fez já 700 fora, nós compramos bastante cafezinho. Mais internet.
Okay, back to let's have a quick look at the chat. I'm also going to share with you the scoreline because you want to see that, because Iga's actually in a little bit of trouble on her serve. Okay, live chat. Sorry about this. Hi, Cedric. Nice to see you here in the live chat. Make sure you hit the like button, everybody. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. A lot of talk about Kalinskaya and Sinner. Cool. Sweet Italian boy. Coco. Doing much better than I thought, says Matthew. Yeah, maybe. I mean, but it still might be a straight sets loss. That was what I was going to say, by the way. It's 9-1 to Iga. But the other thing that I think is crushing is that every single match that Iga has won has been won in straight sets, which I think if she was winning those other 9 matches, but some of them were tight, I think you could make a stronger case for Coco being a competition for Iga, Elena, and Arena, but particularly for Iga in this particular example. But the one she won was incredibly tight and was really a 51-49 in Coco's favour, and the other 9 have been comfy for Iga. Still talking about Yannick and love life. Cedric enters the tennis players dating trip. Yes. Hi, Cedric. Thank you for hitting the like button. If that's you responding to that. Who would be favourite of these two played on grass? I would still go with Iga, Sean, personally. I think she's getting better on the surface. I know she's a junior champion. And I think at the end of Coco's career, we will look at a big differential between her wins on grass compared to clay and hard court. I think we've obviously seen her break through on the grass with that win against Venus. But since then, we're not seeing anything too amazing. I cannot verify it, Svana. Sorry. So, Iga here, by the way, 4-2. Has a very good lead now. Back over to Coco to serve. So it's 2-4. By the way, what did you like? Did you like some of my random chats with some of these doubles guys? I've just put in an interview request with Vit, by the way. So Vit is playing his doubles match now, and I've just put an interview request in to speak to him on a one-to-one basis. I'm a sweet English boy. John is a serious tennis player. He doesn't indulge in that nonsense. Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, it's not my thing. Yeah, you won't be seeing us do videos about Tsitsipas and Paulo Badosa splitting up and that kind of thing. Yeah, just doesn't interest me really. No more. To be honest with you, if one of you in the chat either started a new relationship or ended one, I would find that more interesting than Stefanos and Paula. So Iga here, 4-2, and love 15 on the Coco serve. For those of you tuning in wondering where I am, I'm at the Challenger in Hueras, near Lisbon. backhand Coco to the backhand of Iga. This is the love all point, by the way. Iga on the forehand, though, forcing the error to get that first point of this 7th game in the second set. So you hear some different foreign voices in the background, speaking Czech, speaking Portuguese, and other European languages, but don't tell Ghosty. Ghosty, do you follow us on Twitter, Ghosty? At Talking Tennis TT? And obviously your name isn't Ghosty on Twitter. Do give us a follow on Instagram as well, at Talking Tennis TT. We need those followers. We need those subscribers, by the way, because this all helps. When I write to Werash, Surbiton, Strasbourg, by the way, which is where I'm going to be next week, by the way, Strasbourg WTA 500. When I write to them saying, can you give us an accreditation? If we don't have subscribers, if we don't have followers on social media, we don't get the accreditation. We need you. We need more. We need to get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as we possibly can. We need 1,000 followers on Instagram, and we need 5,000 on Twitter. So share and share and share. Tell everyone that you know, family members, friends, pets, whatever. Get them to subscribe. Get them to follow us on the social medias. Matthew here asking, what do the plans at Challenger think about the tour change proposals and Saudi, etc.? Well, perhaps that's a question I can ask Vit, amongst others, later on today when I switch my attention back to the Challenger here. But right now, we've got 30 all on the Swiatek serve. .30 all here. Coco serving down the tee, but it's gone long. So second serve here for Iga to look at. If she breaks here, she will be serving for the match and a place in the final, where Daniel Collins or Arina Sabalenka will await. Coco goes down the tee and long on the backhand side. A pained expression on the American's face, and understandably so. She should be making that. But to be honest with you, that would have been for 99% of the tour, that backhand would have been a runaround forehand. That would have been a runaround forehand for 99% of the tour. It certainly would have been me, and it certainly would have been Rafa. Not very often I put Rafa and myself in the same sentence, but I just did so there. Anyway, second serve here. We know double fault's been an issue for Coco today at crucial moments. This is crucial, 30-40. Second serve in, forehand return, but it was a tame second serve. Forehand from Iga, forehand from Coco, goes into the net, and it's the forehand again. Some people in the chat were praising her. By the way, it's 40. Oh, it's 40-30. So did I get my maths wrong there with the scores? Does look like I did. Yeah, we're at juice. Sorry about that. So she obviously made that backhand that I was criticizing her for down the middle. Oh well. John, stick to something else. Backhand into the net now from Coco, and we've got a break point for Iga Swiatek. So Coco has had one break point in the whole match. She took it. Iga's had several, but took 3. And she doesn't take that one because her her forehand return goes wide, and we're back to juice. First serve into the net, second serve. Backhand return from Iga. Loopy lands in. Loopy forehand also from Coco. Drop shot Coco is good. Very good, Coco. Game point now for the American to get to 3-4 and keeping Iga under a little bit of pressure at least. A couple of loopy shots there, particularly from Coco. It gave her a good chance, though, for that backhand drop shot, which worked very nicely. Iga tried to chase it down, couldn't quite get her racket on before the second bounce. First serve from Coco, but she puts the forehand into the net. I'm not seeing these Coco forehand improvements that you guys were talking about. Admittedly, this is the first match I've seen of Coco's in Rome. So everyone's got a Mouratoglou hat on in the Coco box, except, of course, Brad Gilbert, who's donning his night gear. Deuce. Backhand return from Iga's good. 4. Oh, dearie me. Break point now for Iga Swiatek. As I see Daria Abramovic applause. That, of course, is Iga's, I don't know how to put it, like psychology coach, mental coach. Iga there, ready to pounce on this return. Goes down the tee. It's a decent forehand from Iga. Now it's on the backhand of Iga. Oh, is that a backhand winner? No, it's gone wide. It's gone wide. Deuce. Even when Coco's winning points, by the way, which is part of my confusion earlier, she looked pretty glum. This game is turning into a bit of a dogfight. Iga ready to return. Second serve here to look at. So Coco down the tee, backhand return from Iga, lands safely in. Oh, really good depth there from Coco. An awkward bounce for Iga, and she couldn't deal with it. And we've got a game point for Coco Gauff. So Coco hit a serve. Oh, she drops the ball. Forehand return from Iga is a good forehand return. Put her in charge of the point. She's going to put this away. She should do, and she does. Just a little tap over the net, and we're back to deuce. Wow. This game is huge. I mean, Iga breaks. She has to win the match. Coco holds, and Iga's got something to think about. I think Ghosty would have won that point, by the way, from that little tap over the net point of view. The 5th deuce. Iga's going to try and chase this down, but she doesn't manage to. She takes a little stumble, but I think she's okay. She's going to need to clean her hands, I suspect. Well played, Coco Gauff, for another game point. We've had 5 deuces in this game, in what feels like a 15-minute game, I'm going to say, so far. Maybe a bit less. A couple of drop shots in this game so far that Iga's not been able to quite chase down. Iga's there stretching every sinew. Looks like she's okay. Okay, so Iga ready to return. Game point, Coco Gauff for 3-4. Backhand return from Iga. Forehand from Coco. Forehand again from Coco. Now backhand Iga. She could have come into the net there, Iga. And I tell you what, that cost her the point. Iga's got to come into the net on that point. She's just too far into the court to then get a good position to position herself for the next shot, which she just was in all sorts of trouble there, and that's why she missed. What's Coco upset about? She's talking to the umpire about something. What's she upset about? What's Coco upset about? Something about Iga. I think she's upset with Iga about something. Let me know in the live chat if you know. I'm going to come back to the live chat right now and see what you guys have been talking about. How does Coco match up so bad against Iga? A couple of things, Derek. She's not on the same level. That's just a fact. And I think a lot of their matches have come on surfaces that we've already touched on that suit, or conditions that suit Iga. That certainly helps. I mean, 2 matches at the French Open, I believe. If I was going to have a quick look at their head-to-head once more to see where a lot of these matches are coming. So that's certainly a factor. But like this, if they played Cincinnati a bit more often, maybe Coco would have a slightly better record. WTA Finals, of course, which was just perfect for Iga last year, including a bagel set there. And I think it's just easy for Iga to find that forehand. Not everyone can find it, but Iga finds it pretty well. That's for sure. And she's quite comfortable playing off both wings. Iga isn't quite comfortable hitting towards both wings. What else? I only follow a handful of journalists on Twitter, RE Global Policy Climate Change. I don't actually have an account. I guess I need one. Okay, when you say follow, I see. You just sort of tune in. I get you. Gotcha. My top 3 Twitter follows once I get an account. Venus Williams, Pavicci, in talking tennis. The good, the bad, the journalistic. Okay, very good. Can you be number 1 if you have a better backhand than forehand? Yes, you can, as long as the forehand is not bad. And unfortunately, in Coco's case, it is. Funny response from Ghosty. Iga's making some mistakes, but Coco needs to capitalize on them. It can't be much fun to play Iga, says Ghosty. Coco's 7 better in second set. He also says he doesn't understand. Did you hear? No, I didn't hear, unfortunately, Ghosty, but someone in the live chat can let me know. But I think she's complaining about Iga and timing. Either Iga's sort of serving too quickly or too slowly, I guess. But it'll be interesting to hear. Or is Iga doing... I haven't seen Iga doing some of this, which does annoy me a bit when Iga does that, like when she's always asking for the server to return a bit. Sorry, the server to slow down a bit. Because, of course, we remember we should go at the server's pace. Anyway, I'm going to go back to sharing this score. As we can see, Iga here looking pretty comfortable at the moment on serve. Of course, that can change pretty quickly. Those voices are the Portuguese doubles pairing, ready to take to the court here in Hueras. Okay, Coco here, getting it back to 30-15 with a smash. But Iga wasn't able to get back in the court, so 30-15. Good start for the doubles pairing, or who we were just chatting to, by the way, of Chandreska and Kadia. They are up 5-2 with just one break over Popko and Zukayev, who we were also talking to just a little while ago. So that is there for you. Coco hit on the forehand to the Iga forehand, over to the backhand of Coco. Backhand to backhand now they exchange. A lucky net cord there for Coco Gauff. How crucial will that be to get it to 30 all? I mean, that could end up being massive. If she breaks here, a little smile on the face of Coco's mother. Wow. Coco breaks here. First serve goes into the net from Iga. So a second serve here at 30 all. It's a double fault from Iga Swiatek. So it's Coco Gauff's first break point of this second set. She's broken serve just once in the whole match, and of course that came in the opening spell. Iga here to serve into the body of Coco. Coco gets a backhand on it. Iga could have come into the net there. She didn't need to, though. In the end, we're back at deuce. Remember that point when in the game point of the previous game, Iga should have come into the net. That point plus that that net cord. Anyway, juice here for Iga. So things are looking slightly better than they were a minute ago for the poll. And an unreturnable serve means we've got a game point now for Iga Swiatek and a 5-3 lead. Ooh, good return there from Coco. But what great depth from Iga. Backhand down the line now. Forehanded Coco goes wide. It was a good backhand down the line, but again, it's on that forehand side. I'd love to see how many errors on the forehand side from Coco today. So 5-3. So in Huerash for the doubles with Araujo and Dominguez against Duda and Kopriva. If the Czech pairing win, we might have a 1-to-1 interview with Duda, by the way. So, yeah. As I see, I think that the Portuguese pairing of Araujo and Dominguez head out to the court. Anyway, Coco here serving to stay in the match. Iga here coming into attack. Love 15, forehand winner. Not much Coco could do about that one. So Iga Swiatek 3 points away from winning both the match and a place in the final. We will have live commentary on the final. I think Nick and James are primed for that one. We'll also have coverage of Daniel Collins against Arina Sabalenka. Kira's going to be commentating on that one. Coco puts a forehand into the net. Forehand error, Coco Gauff tick. Love 30. Love 30, Coco Gauff. Serving here in the Italian capital. Good serve out wide, puts herself in charge of the point. Is she going to win the point, though? She's going to have to put a smash away here. I think she will. It's pretty close to the net. And she does. 15-30. 15-30. So still Iga 2 points away from the final in Rome. Of course, she won the tournament, I'm going to say, in 2021 and 2022. Did she win? 2021, I think she beat Kvitova maybe in the final. Was that the one? She won one of the Rome finals, 6-love, 6-love. So Halep won it in 2020, thanks to a walkover over Pliskova. And in 2021, Iga won it, love and love, against Pliskova. Okay, Pliskova, yeah. And did she win it in 2022? I think she did. Yeah, over Jabeur, 2-2. So Iga here going for her third Rome title crown. And she, by the way, she's got 2 match points here at 15-40 on the Coco serve. Forehand return into the backhand of Coco. And Coco goes long. Iga smiles. Says Yazda. She's won. I don't think it was Iga's best performance today, but more than enough to beat Coco Gauff. 6-4, 6-3. Up and down, she celebrates. Just too good. The gap between Iga and Coco, just too good, too big. And yeah, it just goes to show that even Iga's best tennis is still clearly enough to beat Coco Gauff. Coco Gauff back to the drawing board, you might say. I think she's just got to bring a more aggressive game to Iga. Her normal game is not going to be good enough. Thanks, Ghosty, as well. Yeah, thank you. And also, of course, thanks to Damien and Gorkup. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in, by the way. I hope you liked some of our little side chats with some of the people here in Huerash as well. I'm going to go and watch some of the doubles action now. 10-1, as you said, Svana. And not just 10-1. Those 10 wins for Coco Gauff have all come without dropping a set. Domination. Iga Nation. Do hit the like button. Do subscribe as well, as I see Iga taking a well-earned drink. Also, everyone in the chat, please do hit that like button for those of you tuning in. If you're watching on Twitter, give us a retweet as well. And yeah, follow us across all the socials at Talking Tennis TT. I'm going to be in Strasbourg next week for the WTA event, so plenty of interviews coming there. And then, of course, we'll be full speed ahead for the French Open with plenty of watch-alongs and commentaries and analysis throughout the second Grand Slam of the year. Thank you, Terry, as well. Do let me know your thoughts on this performance from Iga in the live chat, or even the performance of Coco. Once again, that forehand, really, which people have been suggesting had improved from Coco, but for me today, it was nowhere near enough to even force a third set. Coco getting the early break. Just going to have a quick listen to what Iga's got to say.
So far, can you give us an insight of the Iga's mentality?
Well, I don't know how to describe that. I'm just, trying to be myself, really focused on the work, but trying to, enjoy time off the court as well, so I can have energy. The tour is pretty intense, so I'm happy to be playing so consistently because it means that we're doing everything well. So really proud of myself and of the team as well.
Little Italian translation now coming on.
Non so bene come descriverla, io sono sicuramente orgogliosa di me stessa, provo a divertirmi in campo, ho intorno a me un team che mi aiuta moltissimo. Insomma, non c'è.
Thanks to the team who've helped her a lot.
Iga, since 2009, only two pure players have made the double back-to-back Madrid and Rome. How much making history, writing the tennis history, is something that gives you extra motivation?
Well, honestly, I'm not really thinking about that because it's kind of a lot, I'm just living my life day by day and I'm not thinking, about the statistics or history. So I think it's easier that way because it makes you play more relaxed, relaxed way and more freely, So I'm just going to try to play as best tennis as possible on the final, and if I'm going to take it easy and really step by step, I think it's going to be better than actually thinking about already winning, because whoever is going to be in the final, they're both great players, really intense tennis, so still a long way to win and still a lot of work to do.
So yes.
I think it's too late. It's better to go with some risotto or something. So I'll choose that. But for sure, my coach will watch and we'll get ready.
Can I ask you just a ciao a tutti to this crowd that really loves you?
Grazie mille for your support. Ciao and enjoy the evening.
Thank you very much, Iga.
There we go. So Iga Swiatek there and her words having won today. It's looking at some of the match stats here for the overall situation. 4 double faults from Coco. It's not too bad for her over the course of the match, but they came at such crucial moments, particularly in the second set when back-to-back double faults meant she lost her serve. Just the 1 double fault from Iga. First serves in from Iga, also winning that battle 65% to 54%. And that second serve point 1 from Coco Gauff of 37%, not good enough. 21 unforced errors, by the way. It felt like a lot more from Coco today. Whereas look at that winners to unforced ratio of Iga Swiatek of almost double. I think it was 26 to 15, 26 winners, 15 unforced errors from Iga, which is just amazing. And of course, Iga will play in the final against the winner of Daniel Collins against Aryna Sabalenka, which we will have live commentary for on the channel. So make sure you tune in to us in an hour or two, I think, or a couple of hours from now, for the second women's semi-final, which Kira will be bringing us. Derek here saying, honestly, this match was never in doubt. I mean, maybe when Coco gets that first break right at the beginning, Shuri here, I think, with a touch of irony, most surprising result of the day. Or maybe Coco winning 7 games might surprise you. Just looking at the race, by the way, Iga Swiatek, 4,300 points. She's there. She's there at the WTA finals. I think Rybakina and Sabalenka too. I think both. Certainly Rybakina has more points already than Maria Sakkari got, and she was the one who squeezed into the last spot with about 3,300 points last year. And Rybakina's already got that, and I think Sabalenka's basically got 1 foot in Saudi Arabia too, unsurprisingly. Okay, thank you for tuning in. One more question here from Derek. Do you think that Iga can make 200 weeks at number 1? Well, she's already got more than 100, and she's nowhere near halfway point of her career. So I do think she can make 200 weeks at number 1, yes. Okay, on that bombshell, big thanks to everyone for tuning in, and we'll speak to you all soon. I'm going to go off and watch the doubles action here in Werash. Keep an eye on the channel. for plenty of interviews, both here in Portugal, but also next week in Strasbourg, as we build up towards the French Open. And to everybody else, you know the drill.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.